where you meet up with your crew. And we had blokes, my pilot at that time was an ex-Geelong Grammar bloke, and he was pretty old, he must have been 22 or 23, I think. The navigator was a bloke who was out of the Country Roads Board in Queensland, and he'd been a labourer on the Country Roads Board, and he was going to be our navigator, and he was a bloody good navigator too. He later went on to become a surveyor. Another member of that was a banana farmer from Queensland, who'd been with the 9th Division in the Middle East and wanted to get out of walking around in the sand, he said, so mangled a transfer to the Air Force. Another one was a pharmacist. He was quite old too, he would have been in his late 20s. And there was me, 18 years of age, as the air gunner. We were given the option fairly early at West Sale whether we were going to be trying to be pilots or something else. And we were told if you're going to be a pilot, you've got to be pretty proficient in navigation and things of that nature. And Ellis, I don't think your math skills are quite up to that. You could be an air gunner or you can go back to air crew. Well, thank you very much. I think I'd be an air gunner, please. Okay. Air gunners over there and pilots over there. And so I became an air gunner. I'd always liked shooting. I was pretty good at it. And shooting down at the range and so forth was great fun, and enjoyed all that. So that was fun. I didn't worry about being that. And so we then teamed up at East Sale into our squadron. And that was fairly uneventful, except you're flying around in the old Hudsons, which in those days weren't quite as old as they appear to be today, but they weren't particularly modern either. Most of our time flying out over Bass Strait, told to look out for any submarines that you might see, always report that back and take any pictures of them. We never did, but we tried. Shooting at drogues, being towed behind old ferry battles over the sea. Taking trips over Deal Island to see if anybody was on Deal Island that might have been washed up. Don't know where they were washed up from, but and how anybody could ever get up on Deal Island, I wouldn't know because there's just straight sides to it. And there was another island nearby too, I forget what that one was. So our main occupation was flying around Deal Island and shooting at the seagulls. I don't think we ever hit any. The air gunner had to check that the turret was working correctly and the guns were in correct and working condition. And one of the things that you had to watch out for, of course, with a Hudson, was when you traversed the guns across the tail, that the cutout, which was a couple of cylinders attached to the turret, which was synchronized with the turret, and acted as a conductor to the electrical firing of the guns, to coincide that as the guns hit the tail, then this spinning disc, or this revolving disc, then entered into a cutout area and the guns didn't fire. And that saved you shooting yourself down. And I was pretty punctilious about those sorts of things, being a young sprog. Yes, everything would be quite right. And so the armourers, who were, fairly slap-happy sort of fellas half the time, yeah, she's right, mate, let's just check. Yep. All done, yes, all done, okay. And there's the checklist, and you checked it. He had to sign it, and you had to sign it. And made certain that he signed it before you signed it. Yes, everything was okay. Okay, off we go. And now we are over Bass Strait and flying around. And I am actually seriously shooting at seagulls, because they were the only things that we were doing something else, some mapping or something. And as seagulls are flying around, you're taking shots at them. Not hitting them, but taking shots at them. And after a couple of minutes, and I would have fired, I don't know, for a total of 5 seconds, I suppose, all told, Jerry Strickland, my skipper, said, Hilary, what are you doing back there? No, nothing, I'm just firing. Well, keep still, will you? You're rocking the plane around. Well, all right. So I sat still. Hilary, sit still. I am still, skipper. Hilary, come out of the turret. Yes, skipper. What the bloody hell's going on here? And Jerry never swore. And we were very uneven. Plane was obviously behaving very strangely. And so Jerry said, look, we're on the way home, fellas. We're going straight home. Okay. And so we went home, and we landed, but not in his usual fashion, not like you saw there today. It was a very rough landing. It was a very rough landing. And something's bloody well gone wrong. I said, well, it wasn't me. I was out of the... Yes, all right. You told me you're out of the turret, Shut up, you'd be right. And we're getting out, and as we're walking at the back there, I said, Jerry, are those holes? And there were. And there were more holes in the tailplane than I ever got on the drogue. Shit. So immediately reported that what had happened. Obviously, those drums were out of alignment. That was about the time there. And then the pass-out came on. We were looking forward to that, getting our wings and finally getting stripes and all that sort of business. And it was either immediately after we had passed out or just before that the bomb went off. And we didn't know what it was, except that it was news came over that a big bomb had been dropped on Hiroshima. I don't think it was ever mentioned as being an atomic bomb at that stage. It may have been, but I don't really remember that. I think we learned that a little later. And we all said, oh, gosh, that's the bloody end of that, We won't see it after all. But the word went round fairly quickly, yes, you will be going up because you've got to go up to relieve the blokes coming back. Oh, well, that's something anyhow. And then the second bomb went off, and we thought it was even less likely that we'd be going then. And then it was really realised that that was the end of the war. It was finished from that point on.